Hey, this is Anjali, and today I'll be telling you how to do basic programming in arrays in C language. So, in the last lecture, we discussed what arrays are and how do we use arrays. In this one, we are going to do the basic programs in arrays, a few very basic programs so that you can understand how actually we apply arrays. The first program which we are going to do is to find some of the numbers which we discussed in the last lecture, but we did not execute that. So to do that, we have this is our C screen. Now, this was the sample program which we discussed last time where we entered 5 numbers and displayed the same on the screen. The only change I have to make now is find the sum as well. So I take one more variable, sum, and initialize it to 0. And in the second loop now, I have two statements, so I need to put them in curly brackets. So I put the braces and I close it over here. So as we all know that for a single statement, you can skip the curly braces. But if you have more than one statement, you must put curly brackets with the loop. And over here, after the loop is over, I'm going to print the sum. So I print the sum. That's it. So let's execute the code. I have to enter 5 numbers. And these are the 5 numbers, and here we get the sum. So that's how we find the sum of any number of elements using an array. Now the next program we are going to discuss is that how can we input marks of different different students and print their grade accordingly. So program to input marks and print the grade. Okay, how do we do that? I need arrays for taking marks. So we are not taking too long number of elements in this. So we'll just take 5 students total marks. Then I have 5 students average marks, and I need one variable for the index, and that's it, I guess. And then we can take a variable to check like how many students have failed if you want to take that. So I take a variable fail, which is initially 0. Now I have to enter the total marks. So I give a message like enter the total marks for 5 students. And I want that on the screen the message should be displayed this way, that it should ask enter for student 1, enter for student 2 and all. If you want like that, so you have to add a printf in this for loop as well. So I write here printf enter for student, and then I want a number to be displayed, and that number should be a plus 1, because when a is 0, I want it to display enter for student 1, and when a is 1, I want it to display enter for student 2. So that's why I've written a plus 1. This a plus 1 will only display the increased value of a but will not increase the value of a. So this loop will ask total marks for 5 students. Now this loop is over. After this, I need to print the total, the average and the grade. So I write here result sheet because we're going to display the result sheet. I want to come somewhere in the middle, and then I want to give some headings on the top, like I want to show the serial number, then we want to show the total, then we want to show the average, and then we want to show the grade. Okay, so the loop here again starts from 0. You have to print the serial number, leave some spaces, print the total, the average, and then grade I'll print later. For better formatting of outputs, we can use formatting functions, but that we're not using right now. So we are concentrating on arrays, and the output formatting thing we'll discuss somewhere later. So now what I want to print is the serial number. The serial number is going to be a plus 1. Then I have to print the total. Total will be total a. and then I have to print the average. But before I print the average, I need to calculate the average. So average is, let's say we assume that the marks are out of 500 for 5 different subjects. So the total should be divided by 5 to get the average. So I get the average over here and I print the same. So we calculated the average and we have printed it out over here. Now what we need to check? We need to check the grade and print the same. And the grade will be checked as per the average. So I check if average is greater than equal to 90. Then I have to print that the grade is A plus. So I just give a tab and print A plus. Then we check if the average is above 80. Let's say the grade should be A. So the grade is A in this case. If it is between 60 to 80, then it should be B grade. So since it's else if it's obvious it's less than 80, I just need to check if it is greater than 60. If it is, I would print grade B. And let's say below 60, we want the student to fail. So in case of that, I have to write the grade, that is F. And one more thing I need to do, the variable which we took to count how many students have failed, I have to increase that by 1. So this whole processing will be repeated for all 5 students again and again. So it will work for A0, it will work for 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will work for all 5 students, and at the end you want to print how many students could not clear the test. So number of students failed is, and we'll print the value of fail in this. So I guess the code is complete. So let's have a look to the overall code. So we have declared 2 arrays, one for storing the total, one for storing the average for 5 students. Then we have this first loop for entering the total marks for 5 students. And then once the loop is over, we have another one where we have calculated the average and printed the thing along with the grade. And obviously to check the grade, you have to check a few conditions. And it also prints the total number of students who failed. Undefined symbol N. Okay, it's total A, right? Okay. So we have this, enter for student 1. Let's say student 1 scored 235. Student 2 scored 459, 450, 345, and let this one fail. Okay, the first one has also failed because our passing marks were 60. So we can see the result. So the result sheet shows the serial number, the total marks, the calculated average, and the grade. And as per the result sheet, it also shows the number of students failed, which is 2 in this case. So that is how we apply arrays for solving problems. I hope the program is clear and how it works. So that's how we work with arrays. In case of any doubts, do write in the comment section. Thank you.